The world is constantly changing, and that creates uncertainty. So how can you find stability and meaning in your life? Well, this very question has puzzled philosophers and seekers of wisdom for millennia, and it's no less an important question today than it was in ancient times. For those seeking enlightenment, especially around the time that Freemasonry was formalized in the early 1800s, many philosophers looked to both the ancient teachings of Freemasonry as well as those of the Stoics to make sense of the daily suffering that forms part of the human condition. So in this edition of Daily Masonic Progress, you'll discover 3 key insights that bridge the ancient philosophy of Stoicism with the traditions of Freemasonry. We'll explore the history and modern relevance of Stoicism, as well as delve into the core principles and practices, while uncovering the striking similarities between Stoic and Masonic teachings. But first, why should we as Freemasons look towards Stoicism, a philosophy that made sense in the time of gladiators and ancient Rome? Well, as a Freemason, we're taught to always seek further light, and we're encouraged to learn from the ancient mysteries. Stoicism not only offers timeless wisdom, like Freemasonry, but its wisdom, when understood, can enhance your understanding of our Masonic principles, as well as provide practical tools for living a more virtuous and fulfilling life. Both Stoicism and Freemasonry are not merely a set of abstract ideas. Each provide their followers with a distinct way of life. Both offer concrete practices for dealing with life's challenges, cultivating virtue and finding inner peace. But understanding Stoicism can give a new perspective on the Masonic teachings and find additional ways to apply them in your life. Now, in order to understand why we need to learn from Stoicism, we should start with its origins and its surprising resurgence in the modern world. So if you've ever wondered why an ancient philosophy, born in a world so different from ours, is experiencing a revival in the 21st century, well, it's because our fast-paced and driven world leaves you feeling disconnected, not only from yourself, but from others. And you struggle to find meaning and purpose amidst all of this chaos that is modern life. And this is where Stoicism really comes in and offers that timeless wisdom that speaks to our needs as human beings. James Stockdale, a US Navy Vice Admiral, was once held a prisoner of war in Vietnam over 7 years. Stockdale credited his survival and mental resilience to the Stoic teachings that he had studied, particularly those of the Roman philosopher Epictetus. And in the face of torture and isolation, Stockdale found strengths in the Stoic principles because he focused on what he could control and accept what he couldn't. So imagine how these same principles can help you navigate daily challenges. Stoicism, founded by Zeno of Citium around 300 BC, teaches us that virtue is the highest good, that you should focus on what is within your control. And these principles were so helpful to Stockdale in these extreme circumstances, and they can be equally valuable in yours. Today, Stoicism is embraced by people from all walks of life, from Silicon Valley executive to professional athletes who find the practical wisdom invaluable in dealing with stress, setbacks, and in the pursuit of personal excellence. Wouldn't you like to tap into the same source of strength and wisdom as those? And then as we delve deeper into Stoic principles, we'll see how this ancient philosophy offers practical tools for self-improvement as well as ethical living. And these are things that align very closely with our pursuits in Masonry. But how can you cultivate inner peace and virtue in a world that often seems chaotic and morally ambiguous? This is both the question at the heart of Stoicism and at the heart of Freemasonry. And in your Masonic journey, while you seek to improve yourself and improve the world around you, the path forward isn't always clear. And this is where Stoicism offers that practical guidance. Imagine you're facing difficult decisions at work. An easy decision and the shortcut might bring those quick gains, but compromise your integrity. The right choice might mean temporary hardship and difficulty, but it can align with your values. And how do you choose? Well, Stoicism teaches you to focus on virtue as the highest good, with the 4 primary virtues of Stoicism being wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, and they provide a moral compass for navigating such dilemmas. A Stoic would advise choosing a path of integrity, regardless of the immediate consequences. Now, where in Masonry might we find those same lessons? The plumb rule and the 24-inch gauge. And wouldn't you feel more at peace knowing that you've made a decision that is aligned with your deepest values? But you see, Stoicism isn't just about these lofty ideals. It's practical exercises to help you live and practice these principles. The practice of negative visualization, for instance, involves imagine losing those things you value. And it's far from being pessimistic, but this exercise helps you appreciate what you have and prepares you for life's inevitable challenges. And how much more grateful might you feel for your blessings if you practice this regularly? Another key Stoic practice is the dichotomy of control. And this involves focusing your energy on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, and your attitudes, and accepting what you can't, those external events and other people's actions. And this principle can be incredibly liberating. It frees you from needless worry and allows you to direct your efforts where they can truly make a difference. Now, in Freemasonry, we find these same lessons taught through the common gavel, the chisel, the rough and the perfect ashlar. And can you see how this can now reduce stress and increase your effectiveness in your daily life? Well, these Stoic and Masonic principles and practices, they offer a practical framework for ethical and virtuous living, as well as personal growth. They teach you to cultivate virtue, maintain perspective, and find tranquility in even the most difficult circumstances. And as you explore the relationship between these ideals, you might notice some very familiar themes. And indeed, many of the Stoic concepts resonate deeply within our Masonic teachings, as we're about to discover. And why is it, though, that Stoicism feels so familiar to many Freemasons, despite predating our craft by centuries? Well, as a Mason, you're taught to use the tools of Masonry to build your spiritual temple. But sometimes the connection between these symbolic tools and your daily life can feel quite abstract. And this is where Stoicism can help bridge that gap and give you those practical applications for many of our Masonic principles. Consider our emphasis on self-improvement. You're taught to use the common gavel to chip away at the rough edges of your character. And this aligns beautifully with the Stoic practice of self-reflection and continual moral improvement. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and most notable Stoic philosopher, wrote in Meditations that every night before going to sleep, we must ask ourselves, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? What did I leave undone? And it is this practice of daily self-examination. It's remarkably similar to the Masonic idea meeting on the level and parting on the square. How might your life change if you adopted this practice of daily reflection? You see, both these traditions emphasize the importance of wisdom, ethical behavior, and service to others. So then by studying Stoicism, you can gain new perspectives on our Masonic teachings and enrich your understanding and provide these additional tools for applying the principles in your daily life. Isn't that something exciting to think about how these ancient traditions of wisdom can work together to help you become a better person? And in your quest for further light, you might find that ancient wisdom and modern challenges are not so far apart. And integrate the insights of both Stoicism within our Masonic teachings, you can build a more robust philosophical framework and navigate life's complexities. These philosophies are complementary, and by embracing both the wisdom of Stoicism and Freemasonry, you become not just a better Mason, but a better person, one who's more resilient, more virtuous, and better equipped to make a positive difference in the world. Isn't that worth further exploring?